Hello, it's Katrina here, and today I'm going to show you how to make this child's quilt behind me. And what you're going to need for this quilt is you're going to need a charm pack, 1 metre of background fabric, 1/2 metre for your binding. You're also going to need some tools, so you're going to need a rotary cutter, a ruler, your sewing machine, a 1/4 inch piecing foot, some pins, neutral thread, and when you get to quilting, you're going to need a walking foot. So let's get started. So to make the quilt behind me, which measures approximately 36 inches by 39 inches, you're going to need to join 25 of your charm squares. So I've done 5 rows of 5 and I've already joined those up. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put your white border top and bottom. So this measures 5 inches by 23 inches. So I'm going to join my top and bottom border to this. So I'm going to join my top piece and my bottom piece now to the 25 squares that I've put together. So as always, it's a 1/4 inch seam. I'm now going to go over to the iron and I'm going to press those back. Now I'm going to add this side border and then I'm going to press that and trim that off. So that's the next step. And I'm going to go back to the iron and I'm going to give that a press and then I'm going to trim everything up. So now I'm just going to trim this up so that it's all square. Some people like to cut their strips out the exact length before they join it, but I like to leave a little bit extra because there's nothing worse than getting to the end and finding you're a bit short. So I'd always rather have too much and cut it away. So I'm just going to tidy this up. So now you can see it's beginning to come together. So the next thing you are going to need, so we've just at the moment got our side pieces. Sorry, let's turn it round. Let's start again. We've got our top and bottom on. So our top, our bottom and our side. So if you look at the quilt behind me, you can see that I've got those 3 background pieces. The next thing you need to do is you need to cut some of your charm pack in half. So here you can see that I've cut some already. And what you're going to do with these is you're going to join them on the short side, end to end. And you need 6 of these at this point. So you're going to join them end to end. And then you're joining those to a piece of fabric which measures 2.5 inches. So I've already joined these. So there's my 6 pieces from my charm pack cut in half, joined to a 2.5 inch strip. And that now goes onto your quilt here like this. So you can see that we're building it up as we go. So I'm going to join this to this, and then if you look at the quilt behind me, you can see that we've got another row of these pieces above. So I'm just going to put that on first of all, and then we'll come back and have another look at it. So I'm just joining our half squares that we've cut and our white strip to the main quilt at the top. I'm going to go back to the iron and we're going to press that and trim it up. So I'm just going to press this. And then I'm just going to trim it so it all lines up. And the beauty of this quilt is you can make it up as you go along. You could finish it now if you wanted to, or you can continue to make it bigger. So the next thing that you would do is you would put another row of these little pieces. So you would join all these together in a long strip. And then you would add your white border. So you would repeat this stage. And then you could do a strip down here if you wanted to, or you could just finish it there. So with the one behind me, you can see that I've put another strip and then a white piece on. So you can just keep adding to it with the fabric you've got to make it as big as you want or as small as you want. And then I finished it off with a white border on this side. And then what I did was I used some scraps to make my binding. So I joined all pieces of fabric at a 45-degree angle. So if I show you what I mean. So I joined my fabric like this. So if we do it right sides together, and then you can make a big long piece of fabric like that with all different colours. So your binding changes colour as it goes round, and that's what I did with the quilt behind me. So we'll just go over now and we'll look at how that is finished off. So I'm just going to recap the measurements with you. So we've got our 5 squares joined together, 5 rows of 5. And then we put our 5-inch border top and bottom. And then we put one on the side, that was also 5 inches. And then we did a strip of our charms cut in half with a 2.5-inch border, and we repeated that again. And then coming down the side, we've got our charms cut in half but going the opposite way, and a 2.5-inch white border. And then on this side here, we've got a 5-inch border. And then I talked about the binding, where we've joined our binding together. So you can see on this one, I've got a multicoloured binding, and I talked about joining at 45 degrees. So you can see just here how they've joined up. So it keeps them flat as well, but also it gives that lovely change of colour. And then to quilt this, I've used a white thread, and I've done a 1/4-inch tram line either side of the seams, and I've done a 1/4-inch line to the other side of my colourful patch, and again here. So either side of the colours, I've done a 1/4-inch seam. So it's a really simple, easy child's quilt to make. And the back, I've just put a white backing on. So I did increase the length of my stitch when I did the quilting. I just took it up an extra 1, so it made it smoother and it doesn't pucker so much. So as always, have fun, make it your own, make it as big as you want, as small as you want, and I look forward to seeing you next time here in the sewing studio.